I'm excited to say welcome back to Overanalyzing Harry Potter. We've got a good one for you today as we break down the second film in the franchise, The Chamber of Secrets. I mean, this movie's got Gilderoy Lockhart, so what's not to love? As stated in the last video, I won't be analyzing the more obvious details. It's more about the niche details that sane human beings don't have the time to figure out. Let's get right into it. We open on Little Whinging and Privet Drive. As seen in the last movie, the houses are all meant to look the exact same. The problem, though, is that also in the last movie, we get a shot of some of the surrounding houses that don't look identical. Clearly they retconned these shots in this movie. Also in the last movie, there were trees behind the house, but now there are just more houses. The outdoor patio is seen on the bottom right, which is where Aunt Marge flies out of in the next movie. This would be an easy and simple change for them to get rid of in the next movie, but I'm glad that they kept it because it keeps the consistency. Harry has moved up in the world and no longer sleeps in the cupboard under the stairs. He gets to use Dudley's second bedroom.
Even let you have Dudley's second bedroom purely out of the goodness of our hearts.
In the first book, the Dursleys thought if Harry moved into Dudley's second room, the letters would stop coming because they wouldn't be addressed to the cupboard under the stairs anymore. It said that this room before had all of Dudley's toys and things that wouldn't fit into his own room, which made it his second bedroom. So from now on, this is Harry's bedroom on the second floor. It's through this door that we see in the first movie that's right at the top of the stairs. Just in case you don't remember from the last movie, this book that Harry's reading was the gift from Hagrid at the very end, with all of Harry's family portraits and friend portraits. Harry says,
I can't let you out, Hedwig. I'm not allowed to use magic outside of school.
But letting a bird out of its cage isn't breaking any school rules. Owls don't really apply to wizarding law. The actual reason she's locked up is because Vernon didn't want her flying around. Clearly this is just to set up the events later with Dobby using magic and also the flying forward Anglia.
Now you've done it.
Harry, my guy, be nicer to Hedwig.
Not now, Popkins, for when the Masons arrive.
With any luck, this could well be the day I make the biggest deal of my career, and you will not mess it up.
The Masons are invited over to the Dursleys. They're there because Vernon's hoping to secure an investment from them to invest in his drill company called Grunnings. In Harry's closet, we see 3 outfits. The first outfit is the blue one, which we see Harry wearing near the back half of the film, mainly when he's in the Forbidden Forest. We never see him wear the middle gray one, and then the last one is his Quidditch robes, which are on the far right.
Harry Potter. Such an honor it is.
I couldn't make out what the words on the sheet were, but it looks like they're different cake designs. Maybe Harry was planning out his birthday. By the way, this day is Harry's birthday. In the last video, I briefly talked about apprehension, which is the ability for magical beings to teleport. We watched Dobby with a snap of his fingers disappear, which elves can do. But as mentioned prior, apparating makes a loud cracking sound and is not silent like we see in this film. In the books, Harry receives a letter from the Ministry as a warning. The letter states that if Harry uses magic again, he could risk expulsion. That's why, in Order of the Phoenix, when he uses magic again, the Ministry is so quick to expel him. The book next to Harry's desk is called Witch Owl, and it says it's written by Miranda Goshawk. She is notable for writing the book called The Standard Book of Spells, which comes up a lot in the books.
Hiya, Harry.
Ron, Fred, and George arrive in the flying Ford Anglia later that night. But in the books, it's 3 days later, which makes it not technically Harry's birthday anymore, which then makes the line of Ron saying,
By the way, Harry, happy birthday.
on the wrong day. The clock in Vernon and Petunia's room says it's around 8:38. You're telling me that it's that dark outside and everyone's asleep in the middle of summer at 8:30 p.m.? I looked it up and the typical sunset in the summer of the UK is 9:15. We can see the garage outside of the Burrow. This garage is seen in Deathly Hallows and a deleted scene in Half-Blood Prince. The Ford Angula is stored here, and it's also where Mr. Weasley does all of his tinkering. Technically, they should also have some hoops for Quidditch practice outside the Burrow, but that's more of a book detail, so I won't judge them on that. We'll talk about the design of the Burrow. It's meant to look very lopsided because it's actually held up by magic. When the Weasleys started having more and more kids, they had decided to build upwards with each new kid. That's why the house looks very glued together and a lot of parts are looking different. You may be asking why magic can be done at the Weasleys' house but not at the Dursleys'. Well, the Ministry tracks underage magic through what's called the Trace. The Trace tells the Ministry when magic is cast and where, but not who does it. Take the Weasleys, for example. Since they're a magical family, magic will be happening on a daily basis. It's up to the parents to enforce the law on the kids. But for someone who grew up with muggles, the Ministry can see that magic is being done in the area where they have no adult wizards present. So in our circumstance, there is no wizard present in Privet Drive besides Harry, which makes it so the Ministry thinks Harry's the one who did it. It's not a foolproof law, but it's the one they've got.
Some of this. Yeah, Mum will never know.
This is the Weasley's clock. It has faces of the whole family and tells where they are at that time. I first want to point out that almost the whole family, including Molly and Ginny, should point towards home currently because we know that they're there.
Where have you been?
I also want to point out that in the bottom corner we can see Mr. Weasley's face, or at least I think that's Mr. Weasley, and if we look at the full clock image, it's pointing at mortal peril for some reason. There is also a location on the clock called Dentist. This is a reference to how in the books Mr. Weasley is very fascinated by Dentist. Take for example Mr. and Mrs. Granger when they're in Diagon Alley and Mr. Weasley is berating them with questions about how Dentist works. This means that there aren't dentists in the wizarding world, which then means the clock is wrong unless it's supposed to be made for a reference.
There we go.
Mummy, have you seen my jumper?
Yes, dear, it was on the cat.
The Weasleys don't own a cat.
Well, that could be Errol with a post.
Errol is the Weasley's family's delivery owl, similar to Hedwig. Errol is Ron's main owl until he gets Pigwidgeon, a smaller, newer owl in Order of the Phoenix.
Diagon Alley.
This isn't quite how the Flu network works. Just because he says diagonally doesn't mean he'll shoot out of the fireplace on his side. The Flu network understood what he meant, but since he stuttered, he ended up in a fireplace close to Diagon Alley, but not directly in it. This is why he ends up in Nocturne Alley. Harry ends up in Borgin and Burkes. Borgin and Burkes has quite the reputation in the series. The two main things to note here is that Voldemort used to work here for a few years under the owners Caractacus Burke and Mr. Borgin. We never got that first name. Another thing to note with Borgin and Burkes is it's a key location in the Half-Blood Prince because that's where they used the Vanishing Cabinet to transport the Death Eaters into Hogwarts. Harry is grabbed by the Hand of Glory, which Draco uses during the Battle of the Astronomy Tower in the Half-Blood Prince book. We also see a glimpse of the Curse Opal necklace. This has a redesign that we see in the later movie, but it is the necklace that Katie Bell comes in contact with, which makes her levitate in the air. Draco finds out about this necklace while he's here at Borgin and Burkes. In this video, I'll be going over a lot of the deleted scenes because when I was watching on Peacock, it includes all the extended scenes, so I'll just go over them. So again, in this deleted scene, Draco walks into Borgin and Burkes and Harry runs to hide inside a cabinet. This cabinet is revealed in the books to be the Vanishing Cabinet used by Draco in the 6th year. It has a redesign for this film, but that's what their intention was.
Please.
Harry?
Hagrid. Hang on. What were you doing down there then?
Hagrid being in Nocturne Alley is trying to be foreshadowing for later when he's a suspect for opening the Chamber of Secrets.
There's only one place we're going to get all of this. Diagon Alley.
We're back to more for the Diagon Alley breakdown, 2.0 this time.
Oh, I was looking for a flesh-eating slug repellent.
I think that the sign on the left reads tricks and tolls. I can't fully make out the bottom word, but there's no information about the shop at all on any of the Wikipedias or websites. The sign that reads quality, value, ease, and more is the sign to quality Quidditch supplies. We see it on the opposite side in the next shot. We get the full sign of Ilop's Owl Emporium where Hagrid bought Hedwig. I forgot to mention this last video and I even included it in the script, but here is Wiseacres. In Sorcerer's Stone, there's this blue building we see in the background of this shot, which is Wiseacres Wizarding Equipment. It's known for being the exit to the Escape from Gringotts ride at Universal Studios. But in this movie, we get the full sign. From this movie to the park in Universal, it's also changed locations. In Universal, it's near Gringotts, but right now it's in the main stretch.
Come on, everyone's been so worried.
The whole Weasley family is just standing in Flourish and Blotts and didn't even go looking for Harry.
Oh, Harry! Thank goodness we hoped you'd only gone one grade too far.
Mrs. Weasley was quick with that excuse. Draco must be Gilderoy Lockhart's biggest fan because there's no reason to why he's in Flourish and Blotts at this moment.
Leave him alone.
Oh, look, Potter. You got yourself a girlfriend.
Draco's gonna put Trelawney out of a job with that prediction.
Now, Draco, play nicely. Lucius Malfoy.
Behind Lucius Malfoy's head, we see a purple sign that reads Mr. M and then gets cut off. This is Mr. Mulpepper's apothecary seen in this image. Hermione says,
Fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself.
except she's scared to say Voldemort's name all the way up until Order of the Phoenix, so clearly she doesn't take her own advice.
Because if we're going to have any chance of beating Voldemort.
I'll see you at work.
Actually, Lucius Malfoy doesn't work at the Ministry. He actually has no job. The exterior for King's Cross Station is looking a little bit different. This is because it's not King's Cross Station. This building is called St. Pancras. It is also a train station and is directly next to the actual King's Cross Station. You can see a corner of the real King's Cross Station in this shot. Next we see the Ford Anglia in front of King's Cross with a sign that reads no parking, taxis only. I love how all the muggles are just staring at this car in like disgust that they parked there.
Oi! What do you two think you're doing?
Sorry. Lost control of the trolley.
This is the same train station worker that Harry spoke with in the first film. Was a key person to bring back for some reason.
Welcome home.
Hogwarts doesn't change from the last movie since both were directed by Chris Columbus back to back, but the future films have more changes as the films go on. In this movie, the location of the Whomping Willow is in the training grounds, but in the later films, it's moved much farther away. It would be right here on the map. This is the same area the trio were walking in the last film. This is near the training grounds.
See you, Hedwig.
Next, we see Harry and Ron in the entrance hall, which means they walked from this side of Hogwarts to the complete opposite side. Had to be like a 20 or 30-minute walk to get all the way over there.
Clearly someone doesn't want me here this year.
All that Chosen One talk is going to Harry's head. I feel bad for Ron because he's just constantly sidelined next to Harry.
Nice big smile, Harry. Together you and I rate the front page.
This one's really funny because earlier Gilderoy's talking about making the front page with Harry, but in this shot with the Daily Prophet, the Lockhart story is beneath the flying car story. Harry and Ron outclassed him.
That were you in Slytherin and your fate rested with me, the both of you would be on the train home.
This is the new potions classroom design. From now on, it's the design they go with for the rest of the films.
I will be writing to your families tonight, and you will both receive detention.
Last year, McGonagall decided to send them into the Forbidden Forest for detention, but this year they'll just have to sit in a room with Lockhart for 4 hours? On second thought, that might be worse. In another deleted scene, Filch drops a paper on the ground that is supposed to teach beginner magic. This is in reference to something that is not brought up, which is that Filch is a squib. A squib is a person who is born from two magical parents but does not possess magic themselves. This is very uncommon, and the only other person in the series that we know is also a squib is Mrs. Fig. More on that in Order of the Phoenix. This film officially brings in the herbology greenhouses, which were not seen in the last film. The greenhouses would be here on the map.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to Greenhouse 3 second years. Now gather round, everyone.
Quick thing. Does this person look like this person in the next shot? Doesn't look like the same person to me. Not trying to misgender them or anything, but it looks like a boy when it's flying in, but then it is a girl in the next shot. Don't know.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning,
The film introduces us to Pomona Sprout. Professor Sprout is the Hufflepuff head of house. She's in some of the other movies. She's definitely in the last one. Not sure about those in-between ones, but she's there now, I guess. Two Hufflepuff students that are named in the lecture are Justin Finch-Fletchley, who will come back later in this film.
What are you playing at?
And Hannah Abbott, which was mentioned in the last video.
There's nearly Headless Nick.
Hello, Percy. Miss Clearwater. Hello, Sir Nicholas.
Percy Weasley and Penelope Clearwater are dating in this book. Throughout the whole year, Percy is hiding a secret. The reader is supposed to suspect him as one of the possible people who opened the Chamber of Secrets, but in reality, he's just hiding his relationship. They broke up very soon after this year ended. Interesting that the movie thought it was like a niche enough detail to mention. They're also walking right outside the Great Hall and Grand Staircase. This area changes a few times throughout the movies, primarily in Goblet of Fire, like when Hermione's walking down the stairs. Clearly that's a different shot than this one, but it's in the same location.
Hi, Harry. I'm Colin Creevy. I'm in Gryffindor too.
Colin Creevy is a young wizard boy who sadly only appears in this film. He mentions that he is Muggle-born. I'll say this now because Colin isn't in the next movie, but in the next year, Colin's brother Dennis Creevy also comes to Hogwarts. This is pretty miraculous because the chances of them both being wizards in a family of Muggles is quite uncommon. Oh look, it's Errol, he's back and he's delivering us.
Let me introduce you to your new defense against the dark arts teacher. Me.
Gilderoy has lines of photos of just himself. Not a hard detail to see, but I just like it. At the bottom, the book on Harry and Ron's desk reads Voyages with Vampires, a book written by Gilderoy Lockhart.
I didn't get rid of the band and banshee by smiling at them.
Another Hufflepuff joins the fray with Ernie McMillan in the back of the classroom. Trust me, we don't like him, so we'll just leave him there.
The mob round the mob, there any pixies?
Another book, Magical Me, is about to be thrown by the Pixies. It's Lockhart's autobiography. Next is Traveling with Trolls, which the Pixie is standing on top of.
What?
Sorry?
Harry can hear what the basilisk is saying because he is a Parselmouth, which means he has the ability to understand and speak with snakes. It's often associated with the dark arts. The two most prevalent characters with this ability are Voldemort and Salazar Slytherin.
Didn't you hear it?
What are you talking about, Harry?
Also, everyone should be able to hear this hissing sound, just not understand it, so it's kind of weird that none of them hear anything.
Harry.
Did you hear it?
Hear what?
That voice.
Voice? What voice?
This corridor was the same one used for the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom corridor in the last film. We know this because of how the windows are shaped, but mainly because of this oddly shaped indent in the wall that kind of could look like the top of a flower. They match up perfectly.
The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware. It's written in blood.
The blood on the wall is rooster blood. Throughout the book and mentioned in a deleted scene, the roosters slowly go missing throughout the year.
Second one killed this term.
We later find out Ginny was taking them while being controlled by Voldemort because roosters are known for killing basilisks.
It's Filch's cat. It's Mrs. Norris.
Why does everyone just arrive out of nowhere? It's clearly late because it's dark outside and Gilderoy says it's been 4 hours.
Great Scott, no wonder. Look at the time. We've been here nearly 4 hours.
The 4 hours would have at least had to start after all the classes ended for the day, meaning it's at least around 7 or 8, so why are there so many people arriving in the corridor at once?
Innocent until proven guilty.
This corridor is the second floor corridor. When the scene zooms out, we can also see a sign for the girls' bathroom behind them. We also see the little out of order sign. This is Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, which is where they make the Polyjuice potion. So again, they kind of hide it in the background of the scene, but never truly mention that that is the bathroom.
Professor, I was wondering if you could tell us about the Chamber of Secrets.
Very well.
In the books, it's Professor Binns, the history of magic teacher, who told the students about the chamber and the founders. It is not McGonagall. Professor Binns was a ghost who died many years ago. Some say he didn't even realize he died, woke up in the morning, and continued teaching. As you can guess, he was fully cut from the films, but we hope to see him in the HBO series.
He sealed it until that time when his own true heir returned to the school.
The true heir actually has already been to Hogwarts and opened the chamber, and that was Tom Riddle, also known as Lord Voldemort.
Do you think it's true? Do you think there really is a Chamber of Secrets?
Yes.
This is the hallway the trio was in the last movie when they were suspicious of Snape. We can see the same door in the back with the doorway around it. In both of these films, they're also leaving the Transfiguration classroom. This time they're suspicious of Malfoy, but in both films the person they're talking about comes up behind them. For a brief moment, we see Madame Pince, the school's librarian. She's known for being very unpleasant and very protective of the library. She's also seen in the earlier scenes behind Madame Pomfrey, the school's nurse. The Quidditch pitch is moved a little bit closer to Hogwarts in this film. We also get a better view of the training grounds and battlements, which have changed from the last film where it was just like mainly walls.
Another goal for Slytherin! They lead Gryffindor 90 to 30.
Lee Jordan is back to announce this Quidditch game. Mr. Malfoy is at the game. Parents don't usually come to their kids' Quidditch games, but this movie just needed a bit more of Lucius so that it makes more sense when he comes back at the end of the film.
Watch yourself, Harry! Wood, look out!
Oliver, my guy, stop and get back to the hoops. You're the goalie. In an earlier shot, Colin Creevey was up in the Quidditch stance, but he must have made his way down to the pitch to take the worst photos of all time and almost get hit with a bludger.
Boy, he doesn't know what he's saying. Now, this...
Okay, but like, what are those random Hufflepuffs doing on the pitch after the game? There's no reason to explain that.
You're in for a rough night, Potter. Regrowing bones is a nasty business.
The drink Madame Pomfrey gives Harry is called Skele-Gro, a detail that is correct from the books, and it comes up in some of the other books too.
Gather round! Gather round!
This dueling club meeting is happening in the Great Hall. All the tables here are moved against the walls. They also have multiple dueling club meetings throughout the year in the Chamber of Secrets books, but this one only has one, as we know. Alicia, Katie, and Angelina, the Gryffindor Quidditch girls, are the ones who catch Gilderoy's robes.
That Lockhart's something, isn't he? Awfully brave chap. Justin Finch-Fletchley, Hufflepuff.
Justin Finch-Fletchley must have switched sides, because earlier in the movie, it seemed as if he thought Gilderoy Lockhart was a joke, but now he doesn't.
I didn't get rid of the band and banshee by smiling at them.
Just look at him in the background of this scene.
Expelliarmus!
Expelliarmus doesn't launch you backwards, it just makes you lose your wand. It's also Harry's signature move going forward. He must have saw the excellence of the spell, and from then on was like, that's all I can use.
You're a parcel mouth. Why didn't you tell us?
I'm a what?
You can talk to snakes.
I mean, I accidentally set a python on my cousin Dudley at the zoo once.
He didn't really set the snake onto him, he more just made the glass go away and then it escaped.
There's a reason the symbol of Slytherin House is a serpent. Salazar Slytherin was a parcel mouth. He could talk to snakes too.
Little spoiler for the end of the series, but I'm assuming you've seen all the films, but Harry can speak to snakes because he's part Voldemort. Since part of Voldemort's soul is inside Harry, also making him a Horcrux, he has the ability to speak to snakes because Voldemort also had the ability.
Now the whole school's gonna think you're his great-great-great-grandson or something.
But I'm not.
In a weird way, it kind of does make Harry related to Salazar Slytherin because Voldemort was. We find the group in a library study hall. Once again, we see Madame Pince in the back. Was pretty proud of myself for catching this, but this is actually the same room they used for the Mirror of Erised in the last movie. This one stumped me for a little bit because they clearly have different windows in the back of the room, but if you look at the pole in the middle of the room, the striped damage is in the exact same spot near the top of the pole. If that's not enough information for you, look at the back right wall. There are 2 dots of darkness near the top of the halfway line. Those 2 spots are also in the last movie with the Mirror of Erised. I wish there was an explanation to why Harry's always the one to come across these petrified bodies, but there isn't.
Caught in the act. I'll have you out this time, Potter.
I actually don't blame Filch here, because in what world does someone come across a student's frozen body on the floor and just start touching their finger awkwardly? Oh, just in case you haven't made this connection, this is Justin Finch-Fletchley again, the boy who was at the Dueling Club 2 scenes ago. For some reason I didn't realize this for a while when I was younger, but yes, this is the same character.
Professor Dumbledore will be waiting for you.
This is the first glimpse we get of the headmaster's office. The office opens with a password, usually a wizarding candy. It's also disguised as a stone gargoyle statue, which means a lot of students don't even know where the office is or how to enter it. The exterior to the headmaster's office is this little bit that pokes out of the grand staircase at the top. There's 3 circular sections which are portrayed by the interior also being circular. Leading up to the gargoyle, the corridor is surrounded by a courtyard. This doesn't make sense location-wise, seeing as Dumbledore's office is at one of the highest points of Hogwarts and wouldn't be anywhere near the ground. The paintings on the walls here are pictures of all the previous headmasters of Hogwarts. After they pass away, their portraits are hung up here to give to the current headmaster to use for any help they may need.
I was just wondering if you put me in the right house.
Yes. You were particularly difficult to place.
He phrases this question like he came up to the office just to ask the Sorting Hat this question. The Sorting Hat is also kept in the headmaster's office all year and used to be the hat of Godric Gryffindor. It's said that the hat never chooses wrong, that the house the students end up in is always correct. This is because the hat bases its decision off of what the student wants to be in and what they'd be most happy in. Again, I mentioned this last video, but this is Fawkes the Phoenix. A tail feather from this exact bird is in Harry and Voldemort's wands.
They can carry immensely heavy loads, and their tears of healing powers.
Dumbledore gives us a masterclass in how to drop not-so-subtle foreshadowing. This obviously comes back at the end of the film.
Professor Dumbledore, sir. It wasn't Harry.
Hagrid.
In fact, I'd be prepared to swear it in front of the Ministry of Magic.
Hagrid!
Why is Hagrid 100% certain? He doesn't know who actually opened it, so I don't know how he's 100%. You'd also think there would be more speculation that Hagrid did it. Like, it should be common knowledge that that was the reason Hagrid was expelled, and that would spread around the castle like wildfire. There are a lot more students staying for the holiday break this year than there were last year. What's this light creeping up on me for? I'm gonna close this curtain.
Whose hair are you ripping out then?
I've already got mine. Millicent Bulstrode. Slytherin.
Hermione steals a bit of Millicent Bulstrode's hair. Millicent's actress is credited as Helen Stewart, who is this girl in the back of these classrooms, so we'll just go with that. In the books, during the Dueling Club meeting, everyone had to pair up with a partner. Hermione was paired with Millicent, but their duel got physical. A few other notes are that she joined Umbridge's Inquisitorial Squad in the Order of the Phoenix, but that's pretty much all we know about her. The statue here is of the Hogwarts architect. He oversaw the construction of the castle. You can see the snake, badger, and lion at his feet, and the eagle is out in the back. Now that I mentioned that, I'll just explain this now. In the movies, Ravenclaw is represented by a raven, but in the books, their mascot is an eagle. Granted, it does make more sense given the name of Ravenclaw, but in the books, their animal is an eagle.
We still sound like ourselves. You need to sound more like Crab. Bloody hell. Excellent.
In the films, the voices of the characters disguised using the Polyjuice potions stay the same. In the books, however, their voices become the person you transform into. This is mainly to help audiences understand who each character is while under the Polyjuice potion. The issue comes in Goblet of Fire when Barty Crouch Jr. has been using Polyjuice potion all year, but his voice isn't his own. Clearly, the movies just pick and choose the rules of the Polyjuice potion.
How many times do I have to tell you? But my father did say this. It's been 50 years since the chamber was opened. He wouldn't tell me who opened it, only that they were expelled.
Lucius didn't tell Draco who opened the Chamber of Secrets? Why? You're saying that the Malfoys have a chance to smear Hagrid's reputation and don't immediately take it? I don't think so. In the back, you can see the windows of the Slytherin common room. Right outside is water, which is water from the Black Lake. The Slytherin common room is in the dungeons of Hogwarts. They have very few windows, but obviously since they're underground, the windows just show the lake surrounding Hogwarts. I'll take this as my invitation to also talk about the other two common rooms that were never seen. First, the Ravenclaw common room is in Ravenclaw Tower. In the films, it's supposed to be here, in the central tower, but in the video game Hogwarts Legacy, it's in one of the quad towers here. I'll speak more about this common room when we get to Deathly Hallows. The other common room is the Hufflepuff common room, which is found in the basements of Hogwarts near the kitchens. I'm not sure what the difference between the dungeons and the basements are. Maybe it's just the style of corridor, but yeah, it's in the basements, not technically the dungeons. This is the only common room that isn't seen in the movies or the books. To enter the common room, one must knock a barrel to the rhythm of Helga Hufflepuff. If you're wrong, vinegar will be shot right at you.
Hang on. I know that name. My job was to polish the silver in the trophy room because I kept burping up slugs over Tom Riddle's trophy. He won an award 50 years ago. Special services to the school or something.
This is a callback to what I was talking about in the last video with the special services to the school trophy.
Harry Potter.
When you find a diary with no writing in it, I guess the first thing that most people would do is just write their name in there. I don't think anyone thinks like that. Harry's lucky this diary is writing back, or else he would have looked pretty stupid. Harry goes on to write, "Do you know anything about the Chamber of Secrets?" I feel like this is a leap in logic because they cut the scene of Hermione theorizing that Tom Riddle went to school 50 years ago.
The last time the chamber was open was
50 years ago. But that means
Tom Riddle was here at Hogwarts when it happened.
But without that scene, Harry is just making a guess that this diary somehow, some way relates to the Chamber of Secrets. This is the same outfit Harry wore at the end of Sorcerer's Stone. It's like it's his Voldemort meeting outfit or something. We find Harry in the entrance hall. We know this because of the layout, but also from the stone boar statue that we saw earlier in this film. It's kind of alluded to in a later scene, but the person dead here is Moaning Myrtle. She died from looking the basilisk in the eye 50 years ago, just in case that never clicked.
I understand, Tom. But I'm afraid Headmaster Dippet may have no choice.
Dumbledore actually wasn't the headmaster at this time 50 years ago. He mentions Headmaster Dippet, the headmaster of Hogwarts right before Dumbledore. This person in the background of the scene is supposed to be Armando Dippet.
If the person responsible was caught.
Tom Riddle is wearing a prefect's badge in this flashback. He was awarded prefect in 1942 and killed Myrtle sometime in 1943. It was said that almost every teacher loved Tom while he was in school, all except for Dumbledore. We see Riddle enter the area right outside the Great Hall. We know this because he just leaves the entrance hall and we see the statue of the Hogwarts architect in the back. And then the camera is positioned behind this other statue, which we saw earlier in this film with Percy and Penelope.
Evening, Hagrid. I'm going to have to turn you in, Hagrid.
Weird to think that Hagrid and Voldemort were kind of like friends in their Hogwarts days. They probably vibed on like sharing stories about the dangerous beasts they're keeping around the Hogwarts castle.
it was Hagrid. Hagrid opened the Chamber of Secrets.
The scene glides in on the Transfiguration courtyard. This building's exterior lines up with the interior of the Transfiguration classroom, meaning the classroom would most likely be in there. This layout doesn't stay for the later films, but it's here now.
Hello, Hagrid. Tell us, have you been setting anything mad and hairy loose in the castle lately?
Mad and hairy?
What's that you've got, Hagrid?
Oh, it's flesh-eating slug repellent.
Hagrid's alibi to why he was in Nocturne Alley checks out because he's holding the flesh-eating slug repellent. This is here to remind us that Hagrid was sketchy earlier in the film for snooping around.
Harry, I don't know who did it, but you better come.
Hedwig saw who did it, but she ain't no snitch.
I warn you, this could be a wee bit of a shock.
This might be a stretch, but look at the area right outside the hospital wing, specifically that back wall. Now look at the History of Magic classroom from Hogwarts Legacy. They look pretty similar, huh? The video game might have wanted to copy the design somehow. I don't know, this doesn't really matter, let's move on.
This match has been cancelled.
We can't cancel Quidditch.
Silence would.
You may be asking the obvious question of why was Hermione in the library when this Gryffindor Quidditch match was about to go on? In the books, right before the match, they're sitting in the Great Hall and Hermione has an epiphany. She runs off to the library, which is also where she's then petrified. There are actually two people involved in this specific attack, Hermione and a 6th-year Ravenclaw girl named Penelope Clearwater. See how this is linked? If that rings a bell, that's Percy Weasley's girlfriend, which I mentioned earlier. Who's that sleeping in the Gryffindor bed behind him? Because the only 3 other Gryffindor boys in the dorm are Dean, Seamus, and Neville. It's clearly not Dean, and it doesn't look like Neville or Seamus either.
Did you hear about Hermione?
Oh, yeah. I heard about that, all right.
Look.
Hagrid is way too chill about knowing that Hermione had been petrified. You'd think he'd at least pretend to care a little bit.
Professor Dumbledore, sir.
Good evening, Hagrid.
Introducing you to Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic. He's much more prevalent in the movies coming up, but this is the first film that we get to see him. He's also without his iconic bowler hat.
That's boss. Cornelius Fudge.
Is it really though? Mr. Weasley works in a closet for the Misuse of Muggle Artifacts office. That's like working at airport security and saying the president's your boss.
Hagrid's record is against him. I've got to take him.
Take me where? Not Azkaban prison.
First mention of the prison, more on that next video.
The other governors and I have decided it's time for you to step aside. This is an order of suspension.
Lucius gets this order of suspension for Dumbledore by bribing the other people on the council. Again, he doesn't work for the ministry, but he does have a lot of control.
You will find that help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it.
So actually, Dumbledore can't see through invisibility cloaks. The wiki tells me that Dumbledore used a non-verbal Harmonium Revelio spell that reveals the presence of other humans in the area. To me, this feels like a very easy way to cover up the plot hole. But then in my opinion, it also causes another problem because this specific invisibility cloak is a Deathly Hallow, meaning it works differently than most cloaks that have protection placed on it. And you're telling me that a simple spell can reveal an extremely powerful Deathly Hallow invisibility cloak?
What?
This scene runs in real time, and from the point Hagrid leaves to when Harry and Ron leave, it's been 23 seconds. Did Fudge and the rest of the group really get far enough away in 23 seconds for them to just be completely gone? I think not.
Not any spells? One.
Bro's been in Hogwarts for 2 full years and claims he only knows 1 spell. What are they even teaching these kids?
Arania Exime! Arania Exime!
I guess he does only know 1 spell.
Spiders flee before it. It all fits.
On the sheet, it also mentions that a crow from a rooster can kill the basilisk. This goes back to some of the deleted scenes with Hagrid holding the rooster and also adds even more sus on the guy.
Weren't you saying just last night that you've known all along where the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets is?
That's settled. We'll leave you to deal with the monster, Gilderoy. Your skills, after all, are legend.
Snape and McGonagall are just like playing with the students' lives at this point. They know Gilderoy is a faker, but they still for some reason leave it to him to go down to the chamber and fight the basilisk. They're just like Scrooging, let Lockhart deal with it. The big guy's face in the chamber is the face of Salazar Slytherin, by the way. Must have had a big ego to put a giant bust of his face in that cave. Kind of funny that he knew that no one would ever really come down here besides his one true heir, meaning it was like a special gift or something for his heir that his face is on the wall.
While Lord Voldemort's powers were destroyed.
Why do you care how I escaped? Voldemort was after your time.
Well, you see, Harry, you don't actually know that Tom Riddle's dead. All that you know is that part of him lives in this diary. So how do you know that Voldemort would be after his time?
When I became the greatest sorcerer in the world.
Albus Dumbledore is the greatest sorcerer in the world.
Harry gets real defensive that Dumbledore is the greatest sorcerer in the world. Forget about this guy killing your parents and making you an orphan. You gotta defend Dumbledore's honor right now.
Fox?
Fox really just comes down for seconds just to make the fight actually winnable. Rowling wrote herself into a hole and was like, let me introduce a magical bird that saves Harry at every instance. Harry goes from lying down to pick up the sword to standing within milliseconds. That's just a little bit weird.
No!
What are the chances that one of the two things that can destroy a Horcrux is a basilisk fang? Harry's creating his own future plot points. Oddly, the other object in the room is the Sword of Gryffindor, which also happens to be the other thing that can destroy Horcruxes. Voldemort just surrounded himself with the two things that could kill him at any moment. Didn't that just sound like a lightsaber igniting? You tell me. The Phoenix is back for its third clutch-up of the battle. Nice detail that when they're flying back up to Hogwarts, you can actually see the silhouette of the headmaster's office. That's where the next scene will take place, so it's kind of like a transition.
Yes, sir.
And there is sufficient evidence to have you both expelled.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Therefore, it is only fitting that you both receive special awards for services to the school.
Hey, Harry and Ron get the same award Tom Riddle won. Also, I was reading the script to this movie and look at what Dumbledore's original line was. It reads, I think 200 points apiece, which I believe should be more than enough to secure Gryffindor the House Cup. He's just outright saying it now. He can't keep getting away with this. When I first read this in the script, I was actually like completely mind blown about this and how this was possibly a dialogue option for Dumbledore to just outright say his favorite students, pretty much.
And now, Mr. Weasley, if you would, have an owl deliver these release papers to Azkaban. Hurry.
Weasley, get out of here. I gotta talk to my favorite student. I know your sister almost died and everything, but you did nothing, so scurry along.
If I'm not mistaken, Harry, he transferred some of his powers to you the night he gave you that scar.
Everyone close your ears. Dumbledore's spoiling the whole plot twist for you.
Yes.
Don't grab it from that side, Harry. He needs to learn proper sword handling technique.
Dobby. So this is your master.
Who brings their house elf to business meetings? No one has ever or will ever do this again. Just had to bring Dobby in for plot convenience.
You lost me, my servant!
Lucius Malfoy hides his wand in his cane. The end also has a cool looking dragon on it, which Voldemort snaps in Deathly Hallows. A lot of people think that Malfoy was about to use Avada Kedavra on Harry in this scene. Two things. The script had no line of dialogue here, so whatever it said wasn't written into the script. And then second is the caption actually starts with Vera, meaning that Peacock at least doesn't think that's what he was saying. Some believe that Jason Isaacs, the actor for Lucius, has come out and said that he was trying to cast the Killing Curse, but I can't find that clip anywhere, so he could have said it, he could have not, and I'll let you decide. This is the same exterior archway which we see at the end of Goblet of Fire.
Never tried to save my life again.
Just hold on.
What was that? We'll move on.
Harry! It's Hermione!
Bro, I'd be so pissed if I was wrong. Harry this, Harry that, chosen one, boy who lived, like there was no reason for Neville to only call out Harry here. And on that note, we've made it to the end of Chamber of Secrets. I hope you've enjoyed this episode because from here on out, we get to go a lot deeper into Harry Potter lore and explore details that the books also cover. We've got Animagus, we've got the Marauders. It's gonna be great. Once again, I would love for you to comment what your favorite detail was from this video. With all that out of the way, I've been the Wizard Project. Thanks for watching. Or the Quidditch. What am I doing?